Welcome, Warrior, on this, well, I'm going to call in New York City. It's supposed to be a spring afternoon, and it's an extremely hot. We jumped right into summer. I just walked in the door because today the Warriors were part of a wonderful career expo for high school students. But first, I want to do a 5 by 5. Can I see if you are here? Let's see if people can hear me. I'm not sure what's going on. 5 by 5. Hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? I'm not sure what's going on here, but I'm going to figure this out. Let's see what's happening here. This technology never, I shouldn't say never, but has a lot of problems. So I apologize for this. But let's see where I'm not seeing my comments. I'm not seeing my people here. I'm not seeing anything. So let's see. Let's try this. Okay, here we go. I apologize, everybody. 5 by 5. Fred hears me, sees me. Colleen. Okay, here we go. Now let's get going. Okay, let me just check this out. Thank you, everybody, for putting up with this. But anyway, as I was saying, I just walked in the door. I want to explain to you why it's so important. The Warriors, along with, I guess I should start with thank you for being here. The Warriors were part of a career expo for high school girls. And we do this in coordination with our colleagues, the Wonder Girls, our girls empowerment group. That group is for middle, high school, and college girls. An after school program where we teach them about finances, we teach them about community service, we teach them about good behaviors, digital safety, human trafficking. And we had a terrific day. I mean, I literally just walked in the door we did this at Fordham University. Beautiful, beautiful campus up in the Bronx. Has anybody ever been in New York to Fordham University in the Bronx? Now, getting there, that's another story. Looks like, well, a place you might not want to go. But once you get to the campus itself, it's surrounded by the Bronx Zoo on one side. It's surrounded by the Botanical Gardens on the other side. It is absolutely fantastic. I want to tell you all this because we did the Career Expo last year, right, at Ramapo College, Rockland County. And what we do is we bring in all kinds of business people, and tables are set up. Fordham offers workshops. Fordham offers, okay, Colleen says, my brother graduated from there. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now I got somebody that knows what I'm talking about. The campus is so beautiful. But we bring in all kinds of business people and set up tables and lots of swag for the girls. And they have workshops at the college, lunch, obviously, and then they circulate. And they must, there's a sign sheet they present to us, must go to 10 of the tables and talk and find out and check in, right? And I will say we had about 42 businesses. The Warriors were there because I say I want everybody to be a warrior in their own home and community. I want you to act. I want to activate you. We want to help you become an advocate. Listen, the Warriors is about human trafficking. It is about exploitation, digital safety, families. But I talk to the girls. That's our passion, right? I want them to be passionate about anything. And it could be animals. It could be, again, anything. Even if they said climate to me, okay, but I want to activate our young people to get up and do something. And this group of Wonder Girls, so we had 300 girls come through. And I can't tell you, I might sound a little hoarse because I talk so much, I might start losing my voice, but whatever, you'll bear with me. Edie had an aunt who graduated from Fordham. From last year to this year, the questions the girls presented, because they're always interested, like, oh, Lynn, how did you start this? And I know it sounds very simple. I'm like, because I just got up one day and started it. Who's going to stop me, right? And I instill in them. They're very unsure of themselves. They'll be like, I don't know if I could do that. Now, granted, I'm a lot older. I have life experience, and these are teenagers, right? But this is where we have to start in our country today with our young, with our kids, instilling this confidence, instilling you can be a leader, instilling you can be an entrepreneur, start your own business. You got to figure out how, which is why the Career Expo, Wonder Girls Warriors Career Expo is so important. And the questions, again, from just our last Career Expo just a year ago to now, were so much more in depth, so much, I dare say, smarter. And the girls, all of them, we discussed digital safety. They're like, no, no, no. We are putting down the devices a few minutes a day. We are, for our mental health, getting out with nature. It's everything we preach at the Warriors. We are, if any kind of stranger, and they do, every one of them said to me they had somebody as the girls came through, because I also use it as a focus group, right? For our studies at the Warriors. What's better than the actual kids, right? And every one of them said they've been approached online. Now we know that, these predators, these creeps, these weirdos slip into the DMs, and they try to manipulate our children. And thus far they've been winning. And the law lags behind technology. Now, we also had there my great friends I asked to attend the DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration. They came 8 strong. This group of people, I have to say, out of all law enforcement, have never let me down. I asked them to show up somewhere to talk to kids. They are there. I go into schools to talk about digital safety. I say, will you come in and lend your expertise for the drugs? I'm telling you, they never let me down. And so a big shout out to the DEA. And another thing I love about the DEA is there are so many women at the DEA. So I want to show our girls and young women, you could have a career if you choose in this, because there's a laboratory here in the city, and it's run by all female chemists. So I want to show these girls, right, these young women, this is a career opportunity, perhaps. I had some of the girls say to me, I want to get involved in different sciences, different criminal things, So I thought this is the perfect blend. And let me tell you, just a shout out to the DEA for never letting me down. Again, just a little premature, but we will be doing in the middle of Times Square. We think the date, don't hold me to it, forthcoming, but will be August 20th. Fentanyl Awareness Day in the middle of Times Square. It is a massive undertaking, and this will be the 4th year of this, the way we're doing it, where we have all kinds of law enforcement pour into the middle of Times Square. Generally, I have to look at the date. We try to do it on a Wednesday matinee day where there are a lot of people going to the theaters in the neighborhood. Right at 47th, right in the middle of it. Lots of tables with information and talking. And today, what the girls told me, who I'd say, go visit my friends at the DEA, because they were across the room. And then I would go back, I talk to girls, and they all would say, oh, they're so friendly. So, we kind of have to erase the stigma of scary DEA. Sounds scary, right? Drugs and all that stuff. But there were fantastic opportunities from within. So we always stress that at the Warriors. It was a major success. But the questions were really so good. A lot of the girls wanted to know, obviously, how, like, I started the Warriors, but then they were like, how can I help trafficking? Like, they have fully grasped, they understand what's going on online, and they want to help. When is Candace? Candace is starting in 30 minutes. Okay, just let me know. I don't want anybody to miss Candace. So maybe she's starting at 5:30, which is my New York time. But anyway, we got to find out what's going on with Candace. And I heard she broke her foot. So we shout out, in case she hears this, that we hope her foot gets better. It's an awful thing if you break your ankle, your foot, even a toe. It just hurts like heck because you put all your weight on your foot. But we'll finish up in the next 20 minutes or so. So I just wanted to say, a major success, Career Expo at Fordham University. Our young people are really stepping up. stepping out. We're also this Thursday in front of City Hall doing a rally for a 2-year moratorium, a 2-year stop on AI in the classrooms. So all of this is peaceful, we do, right? We want AI. It's not enough studies, not enough, you know, education for not only kids, but how about parents? How about teachers? Like, what's going on here? You can't. We learned from social media. I put that kind of in air quotes. 30 years later, the harms it causes or the addictions it causes. When I say addictions, I mean, people just online all day long. Everything I talk about with kids is the same goes for adults, frankly. But it's a true addiction, right? And serious mental health problems. Girls were talking to me today about, it's just too much. We comparing these girls, out in Hollywood or Florida, wherever they are, with fancy clothes and cars. Like, we don't want to look at all that constantly in our face, right? It causes mental health problems, as a matter of fact. So let's just finish off on that. So I'm very proud that 2026 Career Expo, I just noticed a huge difference from a year ago. I have to say there's a lot of hope. Our raising awareness, our teaching, our talking, I believe it matters, okay? Yes, Colleen says such pressure. Right, and if we tell our young people, yeah, we recognize there's pressure. Like, we feel it too as adults. Oh, there we go. Bring back handwriting and typewriters. Anything you need with Just Ask. Thank you so much. Brazilier Mia. I don't even know if I'm saying your name correctly. I don't know about the typewriters. You know why? I'm definitely bring back handwriting, but typewriters, remember when you made a mistake? Well, I go so far back. We had carbon paper. Don't get me going with whiteout, because that always messed up like the whole report with the whiteout. It always made the mark. And then they had that eraser pencil. You remember that eraser pencil? But thank you. Thank you for your donation. All of our monies, as you know, go into, for instance, Career Expo with our middle and high school girls today, because we bring them, little goodies. I bring them affirmation, believe it or not, little hand lotions and things that have affirmations like "you are amazing" and "the best is yet to come," and just to give them that little bit of empowerment. The girls like this stuff, so we spend monies on buying all of that. We spend monies on travel. We are going to Washington next week. So far, I think it will be about 100 parents. Details are forming as we speak, but thank you so much for that donation. Thank you for the support, the love. It means everything. We're going to get back to what you're saying about cursive. We are bringing, I think it'll be about 100 parents. We're up to today about, I want to say in the 70s. And all of these parents have lost children to social media harms. It is a group, I traveled with some of them to Florida recently. They travel around the country. They are in their home states to talk about what happened to their child, because they don't want any other families or children to go through this. A lot of, I always said vulnerable families, right? But now everybody's vulnerable, because a lot of these families did everything correctly. 2 parents in the household, Christian, conservative, or if not Christian, religious, eating family meals together, talking to their kids about the harms of social media, having these conversations, using guardrails, and still, their kids were victims. Sextortion, choking challenge, subway surfing, buying pills online that had fentanyl in them. So we have to keep it up and keep the pressure up. And we are looking for Speaker Mike Johnson, because he and Ted Cruz have been holding up the whole works here, because we have the Kids Online Safety Act. Look, we don't want government. We really don't. A reminder, all of this is bipartisan work, right? Belongs to no political party. Everybody should be able to get on board for child safety. But when there's nothing left to do, we need legislation to deal with this. Big tech has been allowed to run amok. Now, until recently, when we had the 2 cases, the New Mexico case for consumer product liability, and also, I think that's what it's called, consumer protections in New Mexico. And then that was the case against big tech. And then also in California, the product liability, right? Harmful product, knowingly put out a product that harms. And we knew this know this because of whistleblowers that have come forward from Meta, we're talking about right now, and internal memos, okay? Certainly all the studies that have come forth about the harms and correlation even of iPhone in 2008 to how children have done in school and mental health and all of that. But the good news is that both verdicts back to back, right, a day apart, guilty, 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 guilty. So now we know. Now we know, because I think big tech, they have so much money, so much power. If they have to pay out a couple of $1 billion to settle lawsuits, they'll do it and be done. They don't care. I know it doesn't sound great. I don't even like saying that. But at least we know now, these parents who've been called crazy, not sure of themselves, who've been preaching, safe, this happened to our child, don't let it happen to yours, going to their legislators, working on Kids Online Safety Act. By the way, Kids Online Safety Act, Senate version is the gold standard, 1748, bill number. That's your homework. I'll have it in the body of this video. Swimmingly, it passed the Senate. I think it was a year and a half ago. Yeah, maybe even a little more. 91-3 in the Senate. Beautiful. Nobody thought really much about it. Would go right over to the House, be similar. And it's been sitting in that House, collecting that dust. You hear me say this all the time, doing nothing. And again, bipartisan. And it simply says big tech has a duty of care. I'm going to just break it down very, duty of care to take care of kids online. You see, if they see something, take it down. If they see something, address it. All that kind of very, very minimal, actually. And yet, still not going anywhere. It's the best piece of legislation right now to really tell big tech, look, you're on notice. We're watching you. The future's like now with AI. You're going to start changing things. Now, do I really think? Weigh in here. Do I really think? Thank you, Body and Soul. Yes, my husband is Lionel. I adore him. I'm completely impressed by his work, but thank you for saying that. He's just, I'm sidetracking everybody, but I could not do what I do. I could not travel. I could not do any of this without his support, without always, he is there for me. Never, our apartment here in New York could look like a warehouse at times. We get a lot of collection of goods. People send us a lot of things we distribute into the communities. Food, clothing, shoes, toys, books. It piles up. Never, ever does he ever give me a problem about anything. He is absolutely the greatest. But thank you for recognizing that and our work. Thank you very much. But he just absolutely makes me a better person, and I'm able to be a warrior because of him. I love him so much. So getting back to what I was saying, let's skip over to a couple of things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about these parents. So we will be descending upon Washington, D.C. next week. Speaker Mike Johnson could put the House, the schedule. He has never. But here's why I'm angry, warriors, because he will not even meet. Parents have been asking him for 19 months now. I think it's 19 months. To just take a meeting. Now, a reminder, everyone, they work for us, we the people, Our taxes pay their salaries. By the way, and they all seem to be making a lot more money, I can't figure it out, than the salaries they're getting paid, working in Congress and all of this, because frankly, they make a good living, but they don't make that much money where they can own 3 and 4 homes and they can have all the stuff we're hearing about in stocks and all that. Dig deeper, go figure that one. But anyway, I resent, like you can't believe. I'm actually irate. We as constituents are owed a meeting. Tomorrow in the White House, the First Lady, with Congress, will be working on legislation for foster care and putting that forward with her Be Best campaign, and she's involved with all of that, which is great. And we know about the foster care system. We all know that has to be rewritten, redone. Funds have been given for years that are not going into children and families. So we applaud that. But I want equal attention to what we're talking about, what we call survivor families. who want to know why the Kids Online Safety Act cannot be put to a vote. I told you in the Senate 91-3 in support. What is everybody so afraid of, right? It is completely disrespectful. So we are seeking a meeting, not with the staff. We've done enough of that. No disrespect to anybody's staff. The actual people, and that would be Speaker Mike Johnson. So already we're getting communications back directly to parents who live in Louisiana, his home state, by the way. And by the way, which is building right now as we speak. I think it's the largest, along with Texas, where Ted Cruz is, from these data facilities, these AI, these huge monstrous buildings they're going to hold all this AI, all this stuff. But think about it. I heard the line the other day, so I can't claim I made it up. But artificial intelligence, something not real can't be intelligent. Seriously, I heard this line. I don't know where I heard it. I heard somebody say it, I guess online somewhere. Think about it. Artificial intelligence sounds so neat and clean, doesn't it? Nice. But not real equals you can't be intelligent. So, but Speaker Mike Johnson, Louisiana, and this particular two parents are from Louisiana. They are true constituents of his. And this man turned them down. I saw the communications, of course, from staff, that he has a tight schedule. He's far too busy. How dare he disrespect not only all of us working in these areas, but also his constituents who live in his home state. And then we got Ted Cruz running around. He's holding things up as well. So we've got that happening. And we've got to keep fighting as these parents are relentless in the name of their beautiful children. I mean, my pile of goods, from buttons to bracelets, to courage coins, to journals they give me, everything you can imagine with their child's face. And it's always, forever 12, forever 14, forever 16. I just want to go to that Mike Johnson and dump, bags and bags of stuff with these children's faces. There are thousands across our country. Social media harms, and these parents aren't being addressed. So we got to get into that a little bit. I advise all of you to go back, make sure you look at an interview I just did and put up this morning with Emma Waters from the Heritage Foundation. She's their tech policy expert analyst. She's very much into family and faith, and we're talking about fertility, how it is consistently dropping across the United States, and she explains all of that. But also the issue, which I think it's coming out of the woodwork a lot. We were sold the bill of goods. Certainly, I was a teenager in the 70s, in my 20s in the 80s, and we were told, you can have it all. You can have that fantastic career, and you can have, children, and you can have the good life and sail in sailboats on the weekends. I'm here to say, my words are, you can't have it all. That something suffers, and what suffers is the family. And so Emma comes forward. She's a young woman. She has two beautiful little children. She's pregnant with her third, and she breaks down. It's okay. There's a swing back to women wanting to stay home with their children, wanting to raise them, not nannies and babysitters. She pointed out an interesting fact that she said that a lot of women were so into their career, right? And we were told that's the way to be. But then as they approach, 40 plus, then they start feeling that, yearning to have a baby. And 40, here we go. Thank you. Brazil, I'm not saying your name right. Brazil Iramia. Children should always be protected. I'm in Texas, and I will get on making phone calls to Cruz. Well, thank you so much, because before I get back to Emma Waters, listen, that's the homework for all of you warriors, that we flood these offices, I kid you not, with phone calls, find out who represents you, okay? Right now, it's Speaker Mike Johnson. We need to flood his office with emails and phone calls. You just go to house.gov, senate.gov. You'll find out who represents you, right? But right now, in particular, I really want all of us to go after Ted Cruz. I shouldn't say go after. Oh, I guess I will say go after Ted Cruz and Speaker Mike Johnson. And say we want Kids Online Safety Act, Senate Version 1748. I'll put it in the body of this video. That is sponsored by Senator Marsha Blackburn and Senator Richard Blumenthal, Republican and Democrat. That is the gold standard. This is not asking for too much. We're marching ahead with all these other pieces of legislation. This really isn't asking for a lot and would make parents so happy. I'm also rallying for a Survivor Parents Council in the White House. I think they're owed a spot at the table. It seems like, if you can have a tech policy council sitting in the middle of the White House, by the way, with people like, let me think, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, right? Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, Sam Altman, OpenAI, and a bunch of other tech people. This is your tech policy council. If you're going to have that, Mr. President and administration, you're going to also have, I say this respectfully, parents, Americans who supported, who voted for you perhaps, who pay their taxes, who work hard, who deserve this attention. So I'm working on that as well. Seaside said, do you have a website for help knowing who to reach out to? Well, you can always go to lynnswarriors.org. The easiest thing I can tell all of you, go to house.gov and senate.gov. It asks you, your zip code or whatever. Find out if you don't know who represents you. That will direct you to their office. They'll tell you, the local office. They'll tell you, the DC office. You drop them an email, especially if you're a constituent, because sometimes only constituents they'll take emails from, but there's always phone numbers, their Washington office. And even if you get their voicemail, because maybe you call early in the morning, maybe you call late at night because you work, you can't call during the day, or you call during the day and you get somebody picks up the phone, a legislative assistant, you still leave a message. Messages are counted. And we need this Kids Online Safety Act, Senate Version 1748. Again, I'll put that in the body of this video. We have to do it. We have to flood. It's, as a matter of fact, I said to somebody yesterday, I said, we really need this million parent, million person, million American march in Washington, if for nothing else, of protect our children online. Listen, we are pro-technology. I want you to listen to that. We want innovation. But I know you're tired, and I'm tired of, thank you, Stephen. I thank you. Means a lot. From the UK means a lot more even because you're far, far away. Thank you for listening. No, I love all of you. Everything means so much to me that you're even here listening because it's a tough subject. But I'm tired of hearing in Washington, we got to get ahead. We got to beat China. We got to beat China. Got to beat China. Our children are dying. I mean, I kid you not when I tell you this. The predators are winning. They're all over online, right? Kids are being forced to do all of their assignments online. They're forced to do everything. So we're pulling back. And you should also know there's a program across the United States moving word of mouth and getting big called pen to paper or pencil to paper. Those are both used, where you have every right. You do not have to use that Chromebook or laptop in your child's school. They'll tell you you have to do it, and all the kids have a Chromebook or whatever they're peddling. You have every right to say, no, I want my child to have the textbook. No, I want you to give me the papers for the assignments. And it's been taking off. And they'll give, for instance, in one school every week, they give a package of the assignments. They printed it out and things like that. And the book, different books. And it's been catching on. And a lot of the kids are thinking this is cool now. That, oh, God, I can put the phone down for a little bit. It's cool to have the textbook. I kid you not. I don't want to say I'm shocked, but I'm pleasantly surprised that it's been escalating at the rate it is and happening. And again, forced by a lot of parents out there who are taking this under their wing and pushing these programs. Here we go. We've got Oklahoma in the house. Thank you very much. First time live. And I also want to say thank you always for joining us, supporting us, listening to us. If you even share what I'm talking about now on your platforms, let's leverage the internet for good. If you even do one thing, which right now I would love all of you, Speaker Mike Johnson, just look up House.gov, Senate.gov, find out who represents you. Drop them this. We want Kids Online Safety Act, Senate Version 1748. I am a broken record. I say that in my sleep. Because how dare big tech make trillions upon trillions, I don't even know what the word is for them, amounts of money, off the backs of all of us and our children. And they're allowed, it's the only business unregulated, no regulations. We're hoping with the new court cases in our favor, holding them accountable, that even though I still believe they don't care, they'll just pay out billions of dollars because they have so much. You know, all they want is power. They're greedy. Because I try to think, they have so much money. What are they really looking for? They're looking to rule the world. Sounds very crass. That's what they're looking to do. So what better way than to manipulate the minds of our young ones, our children, right? Fool the parents. We were told we need screens in the classrooms. It will empower our children. They'll be smarter. They'll learn more quicker. Well, guess what? In calendar year 2024 in the United States, $30 billion was spent on screens. And guess what? Reading scores down, math scores down, everything down, 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 including socialization, because you're on the screen. You're not talking to other kids. You're not, and what does that cause? That causes mental health problems, because it was about 93% in this focus group. And they're kids from all over the country, right? Admit it. We're doing a lot of other things. We're supposed to have our screen on in school, looking up things and all that. Yeah, we're in the back of the classroom, on TikTok, on Snap kind of thing. So they're distracted. Distracted learning, it's very elementary. I mean, you're not learning, right? No wonder the grades go down. It is unbelievable what's happening in the United States of America. I'm embarrassed for my country. I love my country. I'm an American through and through. You see I've got my flag behind me. This cannot go on. This abuse of children online, real-time education system. So right now, we've got to just separate it out. We've got to talk about what we can do. And what we can do right now, the clock is ticking with this Congress, okay? We need to get the Kids Online Safety Act in motion. And Speaker Mike Johnson is being very rude and disrespectful to American people that supported this administration and just families and kids all over the United States. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for doing that. Let's see. Sujits. Am I saying it right? I can't even see with my glasses on today. This is what happens. We have a lot of pollen in the air. Sushliz. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but thank you for that donation. We can't let them get away with this. I mean, they work for us. Now, we're a critical mass right now. The first step is we all know about this. The second step is we take some sort of action. This is what I was teaching the girls today at the Career Expo. The smallest action means a lot. Right now, I am urging you for Congress. Okay? This is what matters most. Speaker Mike Johnson cannot tell parents who've lost a child to internet harms, okay? We have proof of these things, that he is too busy for the last 19 months not to grant them a 30-minute meeting. That is totally disrespectful, not allowed. We're not having it. So somehow, some way, the next time we talk or the time after, I'm going to be telling you, well, we're having that meeting, because I will not give up on this one. This is just unbelievable. But let's get back to Emma Waters. I was telling you, I interviewed her. I want you to go back on this channel. Look for that interview I put up this morning, because she really talks about, we were sold this bill of goods of having it all, and you really can't. But she was explaining, this was the interesting fact I left off somewhere a while ago, that most women, they went in, they're building their career, and then around 40 to 45, then they start wanting a family. And by then, that's also the period where if you've worked for a long time, right, for women, 20 years or so, you start getting promotions within your company, or at least it used to be that way. And you're offered opportunities, but then now you're ready, you want a child. So she's thinking, okay, just do it. It actually kind of makes sense to me. Like, even if you don't, now do it, right? Especially today when they heard some report that it costs $300,000 to have a child, or something like that, some amount of money. But where there's a will, there's a way. And how, in other words, this is going into all of her research with fertility and with birth rates down, things like that, that if you do it, you'll figure it out. That's okay. But the thing I come across the most is when I talk to women is money. Let's be real here. Childcare. A woman will say to me, I work this job to hand it all over to childcare. In California, I was told that a nanny, not that I'm promoting strangers because there's nothing better than family and hands-on if you're able to do that, right? But nannies in here, certainly in New York City, that they're getting like $300 a day. Think about this, right? Who can afford that? What woman can go with these jobs, even the job market today, look, and then turn this over? But Emma was also explaining now we have kind of hybrid. We can work from home on computers. We can kind of make it all work. It takes a little elbow grease, as I like to say. But it's a very interesting conversation we have. And we're going to have part 2 next week because I want to compare growing up kind of in the 70s as a teenage, young woman, what they were telling us to. I guess, I never asked Emma how old she is. My guess would be no more than 32, maybe 30. And just compare everything. Because there was a definite backlash when I was, even in the early 80s, where, have your career, put children off and all this kind of thing. And I know a lot of women now, then they built their career and they may have worked on Wall Street. They may have made a lot of money. And then all of a sudden they're 50, 55 and they're like, oh, I should have had some children. And now they're, my age, 65 plus, and they're like, I'm lonely. I should have had some children. So we have to get back to thinking about this family unit as well. The family unit has been destroyed. Both parents work outside the home, and the school system feeding on that need has, yeah. You're right about that. It is, I don't think, I was saying to Emma, and she does so much work in this area, all vetted and studies and things like that. And there is a tremendous movement of these trad wives, like, they want to stay home. They want to cook and clean. They want to what's wrong with that? If that's what they choose, so big deal. That's okay if that's what it is. Definitely kids need their parents. That's a no-brainer. Let's think about it. Right? Kids need their parents. But it's very tough. Look what our country does. Very tough economically. We have to work to make money. Everything's so expensive. Right? You can go in a grocery store. I don't know. I can spend $200. I don't even know what I bought. You can go in a local CVS or something for 2 things. You come out $80 later because you say, oh, well, that's on sale, or I'll get that. It's incredibly expensive. So we're caught in this cycle. But I'll finish up with this cycle leads to vulnerable kids, isolated kids, kids that then go online looking for affirmation, looking for community. That's where they meet the predators. And so this is what we have to inoculate the kids against. So I know it's overwhelming. I like to say it's a big wheel with a lot of spokes, and all the spokes go around. It's like a national security threat, all these things happening. But there is a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope in that we have, what I think will be 100 parents next week going to Congress. All have lost children. How brave are they to use their stories, their voices? It's not about them. Every one of them says the same thing to me. I don't want another family to go through this. I don't want another child to think, because they all say to me, if my child, we had dinner, and little Susie went up to bed, and then the next morning she's not there, gone. And then they look at the online history, and they're seeing cyberbullying, okay? And they all say the same thing to me. If they just came to me and told me, I would have, reported this. I would have blocked that person. The same thing with sextortion. The same thing, all of this stuff. And enough is enough in 2026. So I hope you join me. Thank you for all of the support today right here you've given me on the Warriors. We have a lot of work to do. I'm going to, again, put the Kids Online Safety Act, Senate Version 1748, in the body of this. I really urge all of you, that's your homework, to get at Speaker Mike Johnson. I really don't know. He's got kids of his own. And the most disrespectful thing parents told me, when you go in his office on the Hill, as they say, it's filled with world's best dad. It's filled with, the greatest dad mugs all over. And these parents have lost their children. I had a father cry to me. He said he stood in that office. They're denying him a face-to-face. And everybody's very respectful. These parents are not attacking anybody, blaming anybody. They just want their time that's due to them. Okay? They just want a meeting. And this man cried and said, to see this, and my child's gone, and his kids, pictures of his kids all over, and all this dad stuff. He said he couldn't take it. And our other parents we work with who were in the courtroom in LA, who one mom texted me, she said, Mark Zuckerberg right now is testifying. I'm becoming so ill. I have to leave the room, right? Another one contacting me last night, copying me on. This is the response I got from the speaker's office. He's got a tight schedule. He can't do anything. BS. You know it and I know it. So we're going to be working on that. So all of you will join me. I'll put things in the body, house.gov, senate.gov. Takes just a few minutes. Means the world. I truly believe in 2026 we all have a duty to do something. I want you to go back and look at that interview with Emma Waters. We can discuss that next time. It's very interesting. But what's wrong with if a woman, if you can do it, wants to stay home? We've been made to feel like it's so wrong and bad if you want to stay home and bake a pie and take care of your kids, right? At least for my generation, they that was unacceptable. You didn't do that. Everybody works. And I think, from all that, from the late 70s into the 80s and 90s, we're seeing the repercussions now with kids and these generations. So I want you to look at that. And also I'll throw one other thing at you. Recently we had the Dirty Dozen list come out. Our great friends and colleagues at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation in D.C., they put in an annual list of 12 entities, and this year a person, that are furthering, helping escalate sexual exploitation with our kids. And on that list we have Amazon, Android, App Store, Chromebook, Discord, Grok, a big one, Snapchat, Steam, Telegram, TikTok, X, Mark Zuckerberg, that's the person. But I want to tell you about this because if you go to dirtydozenlist.com, you'll see all these 12 entities. And if you click on the box, it really does take about 5 minutes. This is some homework for you, warriors. It directly goes to that company. It's just, you're adding your name. So they've done, the center has done all the work for you. We need numbers now because the proof is in. This campaign has been going on since 2013, and changes have happened with many, Hilton hotels, all kinds of companies, took this very seriously and made changes. So it does happen by putting the pressure on them that they change. So if you could spend that 5 minutes, dirtydozenlist.com, and just check off, add your name, it will go directly to these companies, and we have to fight them. And I leave you with some hope. We've got the 100 parents, I think it'll be about 100 parents maybe, in Washington. We've got the rally in New York this Thursday for AI, keep it out of the classrooms. Very peaceful, all of this. We've got the LYNN'S Warriors, and we had a beautiful career expo day today with all of our high school girls asking a lot of questions, talking about careers, all kinds of things they were asking about. And that gives me a lot of hope. We have engagement, but we as the older generation have to help our younger ones and really talk to them, mentor them, empower them. And it just takes a little bit, not a lot. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Let's get on all of this. You got homework to do, and we'll meet again soon. Thank you. Remember, each and every day, go out and be a warrior.